Dan, I have learned a valuable lesson in being a small business owner over the last 5, 6-ish years.
Really? That's great. Let's hear it because
I
I
have.
am
Yeah.
all ears when it comes to this type
Yeah.
of stuff.
Okay. Well, my lesson is very simple. When a customer is trying to give you his money, uh, don't screw it up.
Take it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't mess it up. When someone is trying to give you their money, don't screw it up. Don't get in the way. Don't become a burden on yourself. There.
got it.
That
Got
is
it.
that
Noted.
is my lesson. That is rule number 1 of running your own business.
Very good. I think I may have learned that already, however, with many things. If
Well,
anytime somebody tries to give me money, I'm taking it.
yeah. Well, where I tried to eat lunch the other day, they need to attend Joe's Joe's small business workshop because um, they did everything. They did the exact opposite of what I think a business should do. Now, I'm assuming if you start a business, you're in it to make money.
Yep.
If it's a for-profit organization, what the heck? Well, even nonprofits, you're in it to make money.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I had an open in my morning afternoon. We went faster than what it was supposed to, and I was heading back to the yard, but I thought, you know what, I could pick up something to eat on my way there. And there was this restaurant, and I haven't been there before, and it looks nice, and I hear it's got a lot of got a lot of good things going for it. And I thought, well, what the heck? I'll just stop in here, pick me up, a burger or whatever, and then I'll just head on down the road and I'll eat it on the road. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So it was 10 till 11. So it's kind of early for lunch. But when I
Okay.
drive past it to get to the parking lot, they had a big sign front window and it was lit up and it said open. And I says, oh, okay, they're open. So I park my truck. I get out. I walk across the parking lot. I go up to the front door. I pull on the door, and the door is unlocked, and the door opens.
Oh.
Okay. The sign is open. The door is unlocked. They're open. I walk in, and there were two ladies, one behind the counter, one out in front of the counter. And they both stopped and they looked at me like I had two heads.
What are you doing here?
Yeah, they did. Like I was the dummy. It was like the look that both my daughters would give me, when they were, well, I was going to say when they're younger, but I'm pretty sure they still give me the same look. Like they stop and they look at me like I'm dumb, and they both curled their lip like Elvis, and like tucked their chin down and was like looking at me like with one eye squinted shut. And I was like, here for lunch, you know? And the lady's not open. Yeah, so they weren't open. And I said, so, okay, I guess I'll just turn around and I'll come back to when you're open. And then that was it. They never said, oh, well, here's a menu. Yeah, go ahead and order. Or, oh, we'll do that. And I know they got opening task, whatever. But that was it. So I just left. It was weird. It was awkward.
Did you
and,
did you
and it
question
just made me scratch my head.
did you point out and question why the sign said open to
Yeah, I
to them?
didn't.
That would have
Yeah.
been my
If
family.
you would have seen the look, yeah, that look that they gave me, it was a loaded look. So I don't
Oh,
know. I'm just assuming the day just started for them. They shouldn't be having a bad day. It just started. Yeah, they stare at me like I'm the dummy. I just walked into a restaurant that's closed. But what the heck? I was like, the sign says open, the door's unlocked. You're open, but they're not open. But my point is this: here I am, a customer trying to give them my money.
yeah.
You know, and their process is more important to them than making a sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not good.
No. And I don't know, you hear about restaurants these days, they're all fighting for the last dollar because sales price, expenses are up and everything, and they can't, and then here's a customer trying to give them money. They should have showered me with praise. Oh, wow.
Right.
You were not turned away by the fact that we're closed. Here you are.
Right.
Here, let's take your order. We'll get it put on the grill. And as soon as our registers boot up, we'll get you rang out. No, there's nothing like that.
Yeah, no. Hey, well,
Weird.
congratulations. You're the first customer of the day. All right. Have a seat. Tell us what you want. We'll get it right up for you. None of that.
Yes, none of that. It was
Yeah.
weird, and it just was disappointing to me too because I kinda know this place, I kinda know the owner, but per my lifestyle, I'm one of the type of customers that I go away quietly. I don't cause a fuss or a big stink, you know?
Yeah.
I never get mad at retail workers or servers or anything like that in restaurants because I know the lifestyle and it's tough and it's hard and there's a lot of unrealistic expectations put on people, and I'm not one to pile on. And I also I don't know, have such a high, uh, I don't know, high
But
standards for myself to where I'm going to like beat people down because they can't live up to them.
but here's the question. Here's the big question. Will you go back after that experience?
I I think I'm not going to say no, but I won't go back anytime soon. I think you know, I need to punish them.
Right, because that's the whole thing is
Yeah,
sometimes when you have an experience like that, or when you have customers that have an experience like that, that's it. You get that one chance, like that first impression, and if you
yeah,
don't come through and deliver, and they're gone. That customer is never coming back.
yeah. I can see that. I don't know. I've always believed in second chances. I believe in redemption. Give people a second shot. I think there's just way too many variables that could have explained what happened, but at least for right then and there, you know, they didn't do anything to keep me to want to stick around for another 5 minutes by that time, to order my food. It just seemed
Right.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a flashback. There was this other time, there was this barbecue restaurant that opened up in my hometown, and the food was really good, but they were just so process oriented. I remember when I ordered like a plate or a barbecue sandwich, I remembered them weighing the meat on a scale that was like on the ledge between the kitchen front counter.
Oh, yes. Yep.
And I remember them putting a lump of meat on the scale, and the guy was literally like pinching little flakes of meat off of it to like bring the to bring the
Bring the
weight of
weight
it
down.
down.
Yeah, bring
I
it
was like,
down. Too
yeah,
much.
which I thought that was weird. How about you just throw some meat onto the sandwich and let's serve it up? But the real killer was I ordered a sweet tea and they couldn't figure out how to ring it up through the register. The register was like screwed up and they were trying to reboot it, and it was only $1. And all they had to say was, it's just $1. Go ahead and get your drink and then figure this out later.
Yeah, just
But
take
no,
it.
they were going to make me stand there while they rebooted this stuff. And I just politely left. I mean, we're just
Uh,
talking $1, but my point is, when someone is trying to give you their money, don't
take
get in
it.
the way, man.
Yeah. Yeah, don't make it
Take
complicated.
the
Don't make it
money.
difficult.
Oh, gosh, don't complicate it. Oh, that is refreshing to hear.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
overcomplicate things.
Yeah. So I do that with being a firewood delivery service. So firewood is my living. That's how I make my living. And I make money and I try to do what I can to maximize how much money I can make. And I get the feeling now you're trying to do that with your mini firewood, huh?
Yeah, I am trying, and it is actually going very well. I I'm kind of pleasantly surprised at the response. And yeah, I am focused on, like, I try to, if I get an order, I try to have it shipped out that day. Like, as soon as somebody orders, I'm getting that ready to ship out. If I get to the point where I can't make it for pickup, then it goes the next day. But I'm gladly ready to take anyone's money. Hand it over, and I will take it, and I will give you. I will make sure that the exchange is smooth and very easy.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not like that
I think
restaurant.
you yeah. Always be ready to take the customer's money. So,
Yes.
I don't know. So that is just making money, making a living, whatever it is, whatever job you have, that's just what makes America great. We're a free market economy. We participate in it and we go for what we can.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that um, makes me think about YouTube right now too, because I don't know. YouTube for me it's a source of income. I enjoy what I do. But at the same time, too, I've noticed, and I think we've talked about this in the past, there are some cyclical times of the year with YouTube where sometimes the money comes in a lot and then sometimes it's just a trickle.
Oh,
Have you noticed that
yes.
maybe we're still like in this down the doldrums of summertime with YouTube?
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things going on, both I think behind the scenes with YouTube and how they are changing and adapting, and just in the world of the creators, like the people making content. I see different trends happening where maybe it's that point where like people are starting to realize, this is kind of like a lull in the viewership, and they're pulling back on their content, or they're just deciding, all right, I've done this long enough. I've I've enjoyed it, and now I'm going on to something else.
Yeah, because there are trends, and if we were a futurist, we would see, I think, some of these trends developing that are happening right now as we speak in other niches, ones that are much larger than the firewood industry. The firewood niche on YouTube, which is growing. Let's be, you know, and obvious about that. The firewood niche is a much bigger footprint on YouTube than what it used to be. It keeps getting bigger by the day. But there are other niches that are out there that just dwarf firewood.
Yeah.
And they are much farther along and much farther evolved than we are. And now you're starting to see some trends that are happening in those niches, which perhaps could be a harbinger, a foreteller of what's in store for firewood in the years to come.
Mm,
The
perhaps.
one that I'm thinking of, that was a video that I had forwarded to you to watch, and it was from the automotive niche, the cars, all the
Yes.
new cars and the car reviews and stuff. That is a massive, high dollar niche on YouTube. And there is some weird, well, to us, they would be weird, but to them, it probably makes a lot of sense. These trends and what's happening with YouTube channels in that style and that size of niche. Why don't you explain, Dan, watched on this video?
Sure. It was, in a nutshell. There's media companies, and there's, I guess, companies that will create YouTube channels, and then they hire the creators, or the talent. That's probably a better word. The talent.
The personality.
Yes, the
Yeah.
personality. So they hire someone to be their personality for their channel, and they pay them as, like a salary or whatever it is, weekly,
An
monthly.
employee. Yeah.
Yep, they are an employee. But at some point, when that personality develops a large enough following, and they start seeing what's happening with the growth of the channel that they work for, not that is their channel, they start to realize that perhaps they would be better off on their own, because they've built the audience, they've built the following, and they're only getting a fraction of what the views are paying. kind
Yeah. The media
that's
company that bought the media company that owns it is not keeping their employee happy.
no, not at all. Yeah, or the
Yeah.
employee is realizing They are doing all of the work, and the reason that the viewership and the audience is there is because of them.
Yeah.
So,
But it probably is most likely a team effort because the media company that owns the channel is probably advertising it and marketing it. They're doing all the exciting editing and the music and the, and all, and
yes.
the graphics.
Yep.
But the personality, the person that is the face of the channel is still the personality, or she probably feels like they're getting the raw end of the deal and they could just start their own channel from scratch and make even more than what they currently are.
Right. Putting in the same amount of effort,
Yeah.
getting more out. And that's kind of like the changing landscape of social media is now, you could start a channel tomorrow and you could put out a video and you could get more views than a channel that's been around for 5 years with a million subscribers. Just because of the reach and the way now that organic content can be discovered and then just go viral. It's kind of
Yeah.
crazy. So that's part of the whole changing landscape as well. Is I mean, you could break away from this, media owned channel, start your own, and in no time be doing as well or better than you were.
Yeah. It seems like maybe because there's just so much media out there. You remember the old days, it was just the three channels: NBC, ABC, and CBS.
Yep.
And now, then you got cable, and then you got social media, and you got YouTube, and you got all these other platforms that there's these people out there that have skills on developing channels, through a corporate structure. And then they start seeing, well, here are all these simple guys from Ohio that just got a cell phone and they're being successful with a YouTube channel. Why don't we buy that channel and pay him or her to make content for us? And so we can not just own a channel, but we can own 50 channels, a whole
Yep.
portfolio of YouTube channels, and consolidate all of that income into our coffers. And then we'll pay them a salary to do it. And that's what you're seeing, like in the automotive niche. A lot of those channels, those are those aren't just some guy or a gal in a cell phone.
No.
They are a highly produced channel, and maybe the personality is a paid employee. Huh?
Yep. Yeah. And it's all just a continuous evolution of, you mentioned the when there was three channels on your TV, and then cable, and then the streaming services came along and everyone was breaking away, Paramount Plus, Netflix,
Yeah.
who I mean all these different ones. And now I think there's companies out there seeing that the next step from streaming services is something like YouTube channels. Having YouTube channels,
Uh huh.
having, a whole stable full of different channels under your umbrella. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's
But
interesting.
this should have been seen, though. This should have been seen. I remember when cable first came out. For me, it was in the mid '80s, early '80s. There was hundreds of channels, that were just their own channels. And then after the ones that became successful, there'd be one company that would buy like 10 of them, and then they would chop them all up and make just like two or three channels out of those 10.
Yep.
You see it like and you see it in podcasting too. A lot of these podcasts are owned by a company that owns a bunch of podcasts.
Right.
So the podcaster actually works for the parent company. They don't work for themselves, and they're not an independent that maybe, let's say, has the world's largest firewood podcast like the Woodhounds. And
Right.
the other one I remember I saw it in auto racing. I was a huge NASCAR fan. There was always like I remember Alan Kulwicki was an independent racer, I think out of Wisconsin, and he just struggled and just did his own thing, and he finally, started winning races. And then they formed a team, and then there were two on a team, and then there were three, and then these companies would buy like five cars. That's like a team sport almost. It's like money money ruins everything.
It sure
Well, I guess it
does.
depends on what part what part of the equation you're in, I guess it ruins
Maybe
it, huh?
maybe that's why that restaurant didn't want your money. They knew it was gonna ruin them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's and then that gets to the point of, being on the side of, so there's obviously the two sides of social media. There's the consumer, the viewer, and then there's the content
Yeah.
creator. And as a content creator, yeah, you start asking yourself, like, I think I brought this up before, like, am I holding myself back by trying to do everything myself? And if I were presented with an opportunity to have my channel taken over, would I do that? I mean, sometimes
Yeah.
it's a tough call to start to start thinking about, because I would love for someone to edit my videos. I would love for someone to be my cameraman. I would love for someone to do my, marketing on social media and my email campaign. I would love all of that. But
Yeah.
then I give up control of doing it.
Yeah. Well, I think that for one, let's be realistic here. It's not going to be coming to the firewood industry anytime soon, to the firewood niche. You know, we are a widely diffuse niche like automotive or homesteading or crafts,
Yeah.
all the stuff you see on Pinterest and stuff. Okay, that's different. Firewood's a little bit a more homogenous community. So I don't see that happening with us any. But if, that's where I'm saying if you are the content creator, how do you blame a person though that's offered something like that where you got one when you're a sole proprietor on a YouTube channel, you got one foot on a banana peel at all times. And
Yep.
a lot of that uncertainty can be removed, when you're put on a salary. It's just like that critique of capitalism. What capitalism is supposed to give us is choice, the competing of the marketplace and create. And it just seems like, the more money's made, the more the people with all the money try to remove all of the competition to benefit themselves.
Yeah.
And that's probably what you're seeing, through all the medias, with broadcast TV, through cable TV, and now it's getting into the social medias.
Yeah. It's definitely a changing landscape. And, then there's the other side of it where you see this emergence of all these content creators having success, building an audience, building a following, getting their message out. And
Yeah,
then those creators are then going to be approached by not only media companies wanting to create their content for them, but companies wanting to help promote their products. And heaven forbid you should
yeah,
miss, you should skip out on an opportunity to work with the company because, oh, now you're, worried about becoming too big. That
yeah.
I
They would
always
be.
love this type of argument. It's a lot of fun.
Mom always said, "Don't call anyone dumb," but I would say you would be dumb not to.
Right.
you know,
And
come on,
and
man.
and
Yeah,
the other thing that I sometimes find interesting is how people who watch a YouTuber, say, progress and grow a channel and then are offered sponsorship deals, how they can't then look at the company who identified what that content creator was worth to them and was willing to, invest a sponsorship in them. Instead, the people look at it and say,
yeah,
well, now you're a sellout. Now you're just, you're an infomercial.
yeah.
It's like, come on.
I think though, Dan, it has a lot to do with perspective. Like if you are the consumer, if you're the person watching the videos, or if you're the person making them, but also too, if you are the manufacturer and you're looking to get visibility for your product, that's the marketplace of it all. But it just, it just becomes interesting to see how that's just the natural evolution of things. But yet, some people don't like it, and some people do. And then, when you look at it too from the viewpoint of the manufacturer, they're just not going to like partner with anyone. They want to partner with someone that has a track record, someone that can do a good job in advertising their machine or whatever it is.
Right. Yeah, they want It's the same as like if you were to pick where you're going to spend your marketing budget: TV, radio, print. Like they want to get the most bang for their buck. And that's where I think when you're approached by a company for whatever it is, it's almost like, they're seeing the value that you could provide to them. It's
Yeah.
as simple as that.
Yeah. I recall one of our good friends that, that is a manufacturer was telling us that he got a call from an individual who said, if you give me a machine, I will do videos for you and promote it.
I will start my channel.
Serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, serious. And that is not how it works. The way that you look at it is if you are a channel with that brings a lot to the table that can or a manufacturer, that is when you become attractive towards working with them in promoting whatever XYZ.
Yes.
People, I think in that case the person was looking at it backwards. People just don't give out machines to help out YouTube channels. That's usually the I get that at least in firewood, okay, that is usually the way people are compensated for their time. Is if a machine costs $5,000, that is how much they're going to spend for this advertising campaign. The benefits in YouTube is that you can get a lot of sales off of one video that's going to be out on the YouTube platform forever. So it's worth it for a manufacturer to spend that money, that giving away an asset to a YouTube channel, which is an advertising product. They're no different than like a magazine, because I know manufacturers that used to advertise in magazines that don't, because it was actually more expensive to advertise in a magazine to get a lower return on investment than it is to hook up a YouTube channel on YouTube to have them run the machine.
Right. Totally. Yeah. And the other thing with all of that is back to the perspective is you always hear, people who will start a channel and they say, I'm not going to be one of these channels to take things for free, and I want to earn, and I'm going to work, and I'm going to build. But making content for social media is work. Nobody, like, you don't get
Yeah,
this for free. You're not getting something for free. You are putting in time, effort, and you are creating content that is work. Like, so, like, it's not that.
yeah,
That's why I hate that term. I got this for free, because I didn't get anything for
yeah,
free. I busted my butt, and somebody noticed that, and they are now exchanging a product for my service of bringing it to the world.
yeah. Especially someone like you. I mean, I'll compare you with me. Uh, I am a full time firewood delivery service. It is my livelihood. And I also make YouTube videos. Okay. My channel's been moderately successful and I've developed a following. And I know that there are a lot of manufacturers out there that find me attractive. Okay. I look at you. You are a full time computer nerd who fortunately gets to work from home too. You're a remote employee, but has a full time job. And not only that, but you have developed a brand that is one of the tops that I know of. You're just not a person with a cell phone like me. You are you are leveraged. You have a plan and a vision. You have executed it. Your website is beyond me. I don't know how you've done that. And now you're diversifying with the machines that you're bringing in. I know you have a lot of offers that people are asking and that you're always turning people down. And now you've started a new product line, your t-shirt sales, your branding, all of that stuff. That is a human, that is a superhuman effort. And it is something that I, A, lack the ability to do, and B, lack the desire to do. It's just, you're at a different level than me. And then
Well,
for one,
well,
that's going
well,
to
thank you
make a
for that.
blanket
Yeah, I
statement
mean,
like you. I'm serious, Dan. I'm not just saying that because you give me a free Dr. Pepper every time we see each other, okay? No, I'm serious. It is you you have created this out of nothing, man. And then, for someone just to say, "Wow, well, he just gets everything given," that's you're looking at it totally wrong.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you for all that. but that is I've been asked before, like, how do I justify having different brands that I represent on my channel? And the thing that I don't
Yeah.
think a lot of people realize is, like, the brand that I'm loyal to and that I represent is mine, is me. Like, that's the
Yeah.
brand that
Yeah.
I'm focused on. So if I'm working with Yappa, Wolf Ridge, Easton Made, whoever, like, I'm working with them representing my brand. And that's, I think, where people get confused sometimes. And yeah, it's not, it's not, there's never been a time where I look at something and say, "Oh, I just got this for free." Like, that's not at all how it works.
Yeah. And I am that way too, but I'm also, again, I'm a little different. I would tell you I am a firewood delivery service. First, I gotta have these machines. They have to be the correct ones for me to execute my game plan. So,
Yes.
I just there are some things I just don't bother entertaining just because I got other stuff I gotta do.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And like I mentioned earlier, sometimes it's just like, what if there's an opportunity, why would I want to miss out on an opportunity that can help build my brand? All for
Yeah,
fear of somebody
because
saying,
making
"Oh,
money is bad. That's why.
right, yeah,
Because
making money is bad."
being profitable is bad. Yeah. Gee whiz.
Oh,
Never
and this
apologize for being a capitalist.
and
You
and
get it from all angles out there.
oh, and the funny thing is that this conversation could probably go on for the rest of the afternoon because there's so many different tangents to go down. And,
Uh-huh.
it's I don't know, sometimes it's fun and sometimes it's frustrating all at
Yeah.
the same
Well,
time.
I think what we were trying to do, though, Dan, we were trying to look at this as in trends. There are trends where a a a part of the economy that has not been traditionally looked at as a way of making money starts growing in popularity, and it's just a matter of time before the big guys come in and buy everything up, so that they can take it for themselves.
Yeah.
So I think that trend is starting in YouTube. It is not in the firewood niche at all, but it is definitely in the automotive niche. It probably might start like some of these other bigger ones, like tractors or maybe outdoor stuff, hunting and all.
Yeah,
But
I could see that.
will it? If will it ever come into firewood? I don't know. I don't see it happening
Yes.
anytime soon.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
but yeah, but yes, yeah, no, 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 no.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I
There
have
I
faith.
would think, though, there could be a firewood channel, that kinda has some crossover that may get if there could be, like, some outdoor channel, like, I remember this gets back into the cable with, like it was the outdoor it was, like, on the Nashville network, it was, like, that Diamond P Sports kinda stuff,
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
kind of a niche channel like that would come around and buy up a number of personalities in their channels, so that they can spin them into their own thing and make money like that. Like a firewood channel could get like wrapped up into a big bundle like that. But I don't know. The
Yeah.
firewood industry, I think, is just too focused, too has too small of a footprint.
Yeah, but I think it's growing. It's growing every day, and I think that the the other trend is that I think, attention is going to be starting to get focused down. So, like, because the one thing the firewood niche has is a captive audience and a loyal audience. The firewood community, people out there
Yeah.
listening right now, people out there watching the YouTube videos, they are one of the best communities, audiences, whatever you want to call it, I think, of any niches out there. So that's where
Yeah.
I could see.
Very loyal.
Yeah, that's where I could see at some point somebody realizing that. And then look out.
Well, I think that's why they appreciate the content because it doesn't matter if they're like some massive firewood, production facility or a sole proprietor or a hobbyist.
Oh, there it is. I was waiting to squeeze that in.
Yeah. No, serious though. I think that's what brings everyone together.
Right.
There's just something constant that runs no matter what level this the channel is at. I
But
think
it but
everyone
that
appreciates it.
but that's also then another perspective that you see a lot of is how much firewood a channel produces as a barometer as what success they should have on social media. And that's the confusing
Yeah.
part. I think people see, I'll just use myself. I don't sell a lot of firewood, but so should that mean I shouldn't have success in social media because I don't sell firewood? Like, they really don't line up, but people always equate that. How much firewood do you sell? How many cords a year? Okay, well then, if you sell over 100 cords, okay, I can see where you should be successful on YouTube. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
I think that's a silly opinion. Yeah, I
yeah,
think that's silly to even think that. It's no one's concern, I mean, that's what you hear people that I get comments all the time about, that I don't need a machine like that Axis. I only make about 1 to 2 birds a year and I'm happy with it. People, that's what they do. That's what they are. That's what, got into them enough to be excited about firewood, and that's fine,
yep,
So I don't see where any of that should be anyone. And it's something that you want to talk about if you want to ask how many cords you sell, how many cords you make, but it's not a barometer of anything.
no.
No.
So anyway, where were we at, Joe? You were trying to give me some money, and I was going to make it easy for you.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Dan enjoyed this discussion. I don't even know what the heck we've talked about. It was just that one YouTube video about the Automotive. The guy I guess there's been a
Yeah,
bunch of YouTubers that have quit. And he was saying that they actually didn't quit. They quit the media company that they worked for and now going to be starting their own channel, as an independent.
yep,
So, but I just thought that was interesting to talk about because YouTube's interesting to me. I think there's always going to be something about that I don't understand. Like, how can my views be up but my money be down? I'm still trying to figure that one out. Yeah, but
yeah.
it makes it for fun discussion.
It sure does. I enjoy discussing
Yeah.
it. Let us know out there if you enjoy hearing us discuss it, because sometimes,
Yeah.
it is a topic that has its own niche. It's like maybe you don't really care what the heck's going on with YouTube and social media. You just want to hear about firewood. But in our cases, firewood and social media kind of overlap, become one.
Yeah, they do for me. I'm not gonna, you'll never hear me apologize for it. You better believe it. I make money with YouTube, and I'm all in, man.
Yeah,
you know, so that's just the way it is with me. But I'm still, I got to sell firewood, to make a
right.
living. I feel like I have more control over that than YouTube, believe it or not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, that's especially lately. The waves,
Oh my God.
the ebb and flow. It's
Yeah.
always fun.
Yeah. Well, Dan, what do you think? Let's go ahead and strike up the band, huh? And let's get busy. I got to go out and stack some wood.
Yeah, you gotta go find some people to give your money to, see if they'll take it.
Jeez.
Go get yourself that burger.
Yeah. Right.
But
All right. Well, we want to thank everyone for tuning in and helping make the Woodhounds the #1 firewood podcast in the world.
yes, and you can find us on all major streaming services each and every Wednesday morning at 5 a.m. Eastern. And when you click on that episode, go ahead and give us that 5-star rating, because we would sure appreciate that.
Yes. Except for 2 weeks ago when we didn't do an episode. But that's neither here nor there. All right, so Dan, how about this? How about stay
Safe.
and when a customer is trying to give you the money, take
The money. Take the money.
the money and have
A great day.